Republic of the Philippines. Excellency Benigno S. Aquino III, President, Republic of the Philippines, will deliver his statement.
Your Excellency, President Obama, President of the United States of America, official delegation, members of the Cabinet present, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, the Philippines welcomes President Obama and his delegation on his first state visit to the Philippines. The United States is a key ally, a strategic partner, and a reliable friend of the Philippines. With this visit, we reaffirm the deep partnership between our countries, one founded on democratic values, mutual interests, and our shared history and aspirations, and one that will definitely give us the momentum to propel our peoples to even greater heights. We witnessed the most recent and tangible manifestations of this in the immediate outpouring of assistance from the government of the United States and the American people in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan o Yolanda, and your nation's clear expression of solidarity with the typhoon survivors. Mr. President, in your State of the Union address early this year, you spoke of how American volunteers and troops were greeted with gratitude in the affected areas. Today, I reiterate formally, the Filipino people will never forget such kindness and compassion. On behalf of my countrymen, I thank the United States of America once more for being a true friend to our people. The friendship and partnership between our countries, however, are evident not only in times of crisis and immediate need, but also in other aspects of our relations. Our defense alliance has been a cornerstone of peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region for more than 60 years, and our strategic partnership spans a broad range of areas of cooperation, contributing to the growth and prosperity of both our nations and fostering closer bonds between our peoples. As such, President Obama and I met today with a shared resolve to ensure that our deepening relations are attuned to the realities and needs that have emerged in the 21st century, which affect not only our two countries but also the entire community of nations. I thank President Obama for the U.S.'s support for our government's efforts in modernizing and enhancing its defense capabilities. The Philippines-U.S. Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement takes our security cooperation to a higher level of engagement, reaffirms our country's commitment to mutual defense and security, and promotes regional peace and stability. Both President Obama and I share the conviction that territorial and maritime disputes in the Asia-Pacific region should be settled peacefully based on international law. We affirm that arbitration is an open, friendly, and peaceful approach to seeking a just and durable solution. We also underscore the importance of the full and effective implementation of the Declaration of Conduct and the expeditious conclusion of a substantive and legally binding Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, all towards fostering peace and stability in our part of the world. We likewise welcome the active participation of the United States in regional mechanisms such as the ASEAN Regional Forum and the East Asia Summit. Typhoon Haiyan showed the entire world how vulnerable the Philippines as well as other developing countries are to natural disasters. As such, humanitarian assistance and disaster response is an essential component of our cooperation. As the United States and the American people have always been ready to support us in the aftermath of disasters, so too do we look forward to the continued cooperation of the United States and the rest of our partners in the international community as we undertake the task of building back better the communities affected by Typhoon Haiyan. This morning, we made a promising start as we discussed how our partnership can be enhanced through building climate-resilient communities. These kind of strong communities are important, not only in withstanding disasters, but also in fostering inclusive growth across the entire country. President Obama and I recognize the importance of strong economic engagement for the continued growth of both the Philippines and the United States. On this note, we expressed our appreciation for the U.S.'s support to our government's programs under the Partnership for Growth framework, which enhances the policy environment for economic growth through US $145 million total planned contribution from the USAID. U.S. support is also course to the Millennium Challenge Corporation, which supports the implementation of projects on road infrastructure, poverty reduction, and good governance with a $434 million grant from 2011 to 2016. Recently, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration reinstated the Philippines to a Category 1 status. This will redound to mutual benefit for our countries, from opening more routes for travel between the United States and the Philippines to creating more business opportunities to facilitating increased tourism and business travel. We welcome the substantive agreement between our countries on the terms and concessions for the U.S. to support the Philippines' request for the extension of special treatment for our rice imports until 2017. We also discussed the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is a high-standard trade agreement that will shape the global and regional economic architecture in the 21st century. The Philippines is working to ascertain how participation in TPP can be realized. The signing of the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro last March 27 brings a just and lasting peace within our reach, a peace that will serve as a strong foundation for stability, inclusivity, and progress in Mindanao. This was born of the steadfast commitment and the hard work of our administration, the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, and other partners and stakeholders, the U.S. included. We thank President Obama for the United States' significant assistance and support for the Philippine peace process. Our meeting today was comprehensive, historic, and significant, embodying our shared values and aspirations. It accorded President Obama and myself the opportunity to build on the relations between our countries and discuss our strategic vision for the future of the Philippines-United States relationship, a relationship that is modern, mature, and forward-looking, and one that allows us to surpass challenges towards the benefit of our peoples, the entire region, and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I now call on Secretary Jay Carney.
President Obama has a statement.
Mabuhay. And thank you, President Aquino, for your warm welcome and your very kind words. With the President's indulgence, I want to begin by saying a few words about some terrible storms and tornadoes back home in the United States. Over the weekend, a series of storms claimed at least a dozen lives and damaged or destroyed homes and businesses and communities across multiple states, with the worst toll in Arkansas. So I want to offer my deepest condolences to all those who lost loved ones. I commend the heroic efforts of first responders and neighbors who rushed to help. I want everyone affected by this tragedy to know that FEMA and the federal government is on the ground and will help our fellow Americans in need, working with state and local officials. And I want everybody to know that your country will be there to help you recover and rebuild as long as it takes. Now, this is my first visit to the Philippines as president, and I am proud to be here as we mark the 70th anniversary of the Battle of Leyte Gulf, when Americans and Filipinos fought together to liberate this nation during World War II. Now, all these years later, we continue to stand shoulder to shoulder to uphold peace and security in this region and around the world. So, Benigno, I want to thank you and the Filipino people, not only for your generous hospitality today, but for a friendship that has spanned generations. And I'd add that our friendship is deeper and the United States is stronger because of the contributions and patriotism of millions of proud Filipino Americans. As I've made clear throughout this trip, the United States is renewing our leadership in the Asia Pacific, and our engagement is rooted in our alliances. And that includes the Philippines, which is the oldest security treaty alliance that we have in Asia. As a vibrant democracy, the Philippines reflects the desire of citizens in this region to live in freedom and to have their universal rights upheld. As one of the fastest growing economies in Asia, the Philippines represents new opportunities for the trade and investment that creates jobs in both countries. And given its strategic location, the Philippines is a vital partner on issues such as maritime security and freedom of navigation. And let me add that the recent agreement to end the insurgency in the South gives the Philippines a historic opportunity to forge a lasting peace here at home with greater security and prosperity for the people of that region. I was proud to welcome President Aquino to the White House 2 years ago, and since then we've worked to deepen our cooperation and to modernize our alliances. Our partnership reflects an important Filipino concept, bayanihan, the idea that we have to work together to accomplish things that we couldn't achieve on our own. That's what we saw last year when Typhoon Yolanda devastated so many communities. Our armed forces and civilians from both our countries worked as one to rescue victims and to deliver life-saving aid. That's what friends do for each other. And Mr. President, I want to say to you and The people of the Philippines, the United States will continue to stand with you as you recover and rebuild. Our commitment to the Philippines will not waver. Today, I'm pleased that we're beginning an important new chapter in the relationship between our countries, and it starts with our security, with the new Defense Cooperation Agreement that was signed today. I want to be very clear. The United States is not trying to reclaim old bases or build new bases. At the invitation of the Philippines, American service members will rotate through Filipino facilities. We'll train and exercise more together so that we're prepared for a range of challenges, including humanitarian crises and natural disasters like Yolanda. We'll work together to build the Philippines' defense capabilities and to work with other nations to promote regional stability, such as in the South China Sea. And I'm looking forward to my visit with forces from both our nations tomorrow to honor their service and to look ahead to the future we can shape together. As we strengthen our bilateral security cooperation, we're also working together with regional institutions like ASEAN and the East Asia Summit. When we met in the Oval Office 2 years ago, Benigno and I agreed to promote a common set of rules founded in respect for international law that will help the Asia-Pacific remain open and inclusive as the region grows and develops. Today, we have reaffirmed the importance of resolving territorial disputes in the region peacefully, without intimidation or coercion. And in that spirit, I told him that the United States supports his decision to pursue international arbitration concerning territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Finally, we agreed to keep deepening our economic cooperation. I congratulated President Aquino on the reforms that he's pursued to make the Philippines more competitive. Through our Partnership for Growth and our Millennium Challenge Corporation Compact, we're going to keep working together to support these efforts so that more Filipinos can share in this nation's economic progress, because growth has to be broad-based and it has to be inclusive. We discussed the steps that the Philippines could take to position itself for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I encourage the President to seize the opportunity he's created by opening the next phase of economic reform and growth. Today, I'm announcing that my Commerce Secretary, Penny Pritzker, will lead a delegation of American business leaders to the Philippines this June to explore new opportunities. And I'd add that we've also committed to work together to address the devastating effects of climate change and to make Philippine communities less vulnerable to extreme storms like Yolanda. So, Mr. President, let me once again thank you for everything you've done to strengthen our alliance and our friendship. I'm looking forward to paying tribute to the bonds between our people at dinner tonight and to working with you as we write the next chapter in the relationship between our two countries.